one of the scariest things about the transition from primary school going to secondary school is not that the studies are going to get harder or that you'll have trouble making new friends. It's the new seating plan. Which loser is your teacher going to make you sit next to for the rest of the year? This was racing through my 12-year-old brain as I rushed to the notice board in the front of the classroom. I was hoping to be lucky enough to be sat anywhere near my friend Lucy, the only friend I had who was from my home country, Nepal. At this point, I had only been in Hong Kong for only a year. And I was a very traditional girl from Nepal, and my mom had trained me well. No speaking to boys. Try to make friends with girls only from your caste. For those who don't know, Nepal still follows the caste system, a 4-tiered pyramid that places people in categories based on the jobs that their dead ancestors did. So if your ancestors were priests or spiritual leaders, then you'd be born into a category called the Brahmins, who sit at the top of the pyramid. But if your ancestors were fishermen, this was considered an unclean line of work. So then you'd be born as an untouchable. Yeah. So the caste thing really didn't bother me. I was just so glad to find some people who spoke the same language as me in a foreign country like a city like Hong Kong. So although I wouldn't be sitting anywhere near Lucy from the seating plan, I was at least relieved to find that I'd be sitting next to a guy from Nepal. But I expected this guy to be a little mean to me because from the surname I realized he's a lower caste than me. And in Nepal, it is very common for the lower caste to hate the higher caste. So I expected him to be mean. But to my surprise, he was actually really lovely. And we got along really well. He was a goofy character, always making me laugh with his lame dad jokes. Let's call him Bill for this story. So Bill was tall and fair, and he had really good hair. And he was just this really funny character. And before I even knew it, I'd already started catching feelings for him. Yeah. So we were both really careless with our studies, so clumsy. We were always getting in detention because of not doing math homework. And eventually I started skipping maths homework on purpose, just to be in detention with Bill. Yeah, my math score dropped to their lowest that year. But I didn't care. I had a new goal now. I wanted to be just like those girls with boyfriends. How cool they looked lining up in the noodle shop, a famous noodle shop next to our school, ordering lo mein, ka siu mai. I wanted to be just like those girls. So after months of battling with these feelings, I finally decided to tell my girlfriends about Bill. And they were excited for me. We would sit at lunchtime analyzing his behavior in great detail to try to figure out whether he liked me back. Eventually, it occurred to us that the only way to really find out was for me to confess my feelings for him. And it was a trend at that time, for some reason, to confess your feelings to a crush. And crazy enough, I was up for it. I even knew the perfect time and place. Our class was scheduled to go on an overnight camp inside Cone. Now, perfect place. Now I just needed someone to get Bill and me into an isolated spot. So my girlfriends were more than happy to do this. So a few weeks later, I'm at the campsite. My girlfriends are telling me their plan of action. So they were going to go up to Bill and tell him that he and I are in trouble with the class teacher for something we did. Remember, we were seatmates. So, and apparently only I knew about the details. So Bill has to go and meet me at this particular spot at 10 p.m. Flawless plan, flawless. Here's how it actually rolled out. So Bill came, but he wasn't alone. He came with his guy best friend. And I thought 10 p.m. there would be no one, in the area, but so many batchmates were just lurking around everywhere. So now Bill and his friend are approaching me, and I'm starting to get nervous. And finally, they are like 2 meters in front of me, and Bill is curious. Hey, what's going on? What are we in trouble for? I'm like, but I become brave enough. I break the silence, and then I go, actually, I was hoping to speak to you only. Can you go? I snapped at his friend. The friend walked away weirdly, looking at me weirdly, but then waited nearby. And now Bill is really looking at me with even more intrigue, and he's like, hey, what's going on? What are we in trouble for? And my stomach is sinking. I think of backing out in this moment. But then I remember my friends are hiding behind the bush for so long, waiting for this to happen. They would be so disappointed. So I take a deep breath. Actually, we're not in trouble or anything. I just brought you here because I wanted to tell you something important. Okay, tell me then. I take a deep breath. I muster up every courage that I have in my body. Actually, I wanted to tell you that I wanted to say that I love you. Dead silence. My stomach drops to the floor. After what feels like an eternity, Bill scratches his head and says, but you're not really my type, sorry. At first, I was shocked, but then I was really mad because I realized that he had said it so damn loud. The entire floor had heard us. I could almost hear people gasp at this moment. And how could he speak so loudly? Like, I didn't know what to do. My body just went into this fight or flight mode. Do something, my brain screamed. So I lift one of my slippers and I charge at Bill with my slipper. What did you say? You're rejecting me? I'm gonna kill you. What did you say? I chased Bill around the campus, the campsite, like I wanted him dead. And Bill got scared. He ran away, to save himself. And I didn't even care that everybody was laughing at us. But then it was too late. My body was already in fight and flight mode, right? So I couldn't stop. Kept chasing him. But eventually he ran a lot faster, being tall and, So he disappeared from my view. And I had to stop to catch my breath. That's when the reality of the situation hit me. So I just sank down to the meadow and I just started crying. My girlfriends eventually caught up to me and they tried to soothe me, but nothing worked. I spent the rest of that school year feeling really depressed. I had hoped to be this rebellious girl with a tall and handsome boyfriend, but instead I became known as the girl who went rogue and chased a guy around with a slipper. Thank you.